I think it's hard for people that have maybe never actually cut significant weight themselves, but it does. It fills that void. I can't go and eat delicious, tasting, salty, fatty food right now, but just watching somebody do it or watching somebody who can, I don't know what it is about it, but I just sit there all day, and I'll be doing crunches on the floor. I'll do what I call it ab o'clock. I'll be just doing ab o'clock and watching, chewing gum and watching the Food Network. Most of my day. I've done it already probably 3-4 times today. So
I do a lot of juicing, so it's all the juicing that I have to drink is gross, but I get it down. I open my throat and just pour it down. So I won't be doing that for a while. I'll probably hit up Taco Bell a few times.
The exact opposite of juicing.
Exactly. Just let myself go.
It's been a great camp. I wanted to be on this card because when Dominic fights, everyone's in the gym. He brings great guys in to train with. There's a good atmosphere in the gym, and of course I wanted to be a part of that. As a martial artist, I want to be surrounded by the best, and I want to see what he's doing when he wins the belt, and I want to be a part of that. And for my career, when I get the chance to get up there, so it's a good time for me to be involved. But fight week, yeah, me and Dominic stay away from each other, especially when we're cutting weight. He's the worst person to be around. He's so short-tempered and arrogant and feisty, and I'm cutting weight too, so I haven't got the nicest of tempers. So yeah, we stay away from each other. We'll say hello and a little talk and stuff, and ask how we're going, the general chit chat, but that'll be it, and then we'll be off.
I tried them all out in wrestling so far. My son Eddie's phenomenal. I think he'd rather play soccer. He's in love with soccer, and he'd rather play soccer than do the one-on-one. Wrestling's a real intimate thing for a young kid to do. When you go to a kids wrestling tournament, it's a weird thing because you see kids crying their eyes out, wrestling each other. And it was hard as a father to watch that go on and know how to deal with it. How do you deal with that? Your kid's crying his eyes out. Do you pull him off the mat? Do you tell him, be tough, keep going? So that was tough to deal with for a dad. So I can imagine what it was for him at 4 and 5 years old. So I have one son, my middle child, my craziest of all my sons, who actually likes wrestling and wants to wrestle. My other one, I send him to my 4-year-old. After every practice, he tells me he wants to log off of wrestling, which is the most hilarious thing I've heard out of a kid. He wants to log out every day. So I think just recently we let him log out for good, and now my middle child is still sort of into it. So maybe one will stick.
I think accountability is one hell of a thing, and I think that if you have somebody that you can truly believe, right? It also depends on the psyche too, right? Like, there's so many guys that, especially in fighting, everybody thinks fighters are badasses, right? Well, fighters are terrified most of the time, right? Like the nerves, the anxiety, everything about it. Like, what happens if he does this, and all of a sudden you start scolding it, and it comes to pieces, and you can't handle the pressure and the stress, right? So you need somebody to be like, hey, you're good. You did great today, I'm not that person. I don't need that. I've been through the ringer enough that I don't need that. But it still is nice to hear, like Coach Neal. Coach Neal is a very, he'll massage this, He'll, at the end of the day, he'll bust your ass. He'll catch in 500 triangles and 300 kimuras and try to pop your joints out. And at the end of the day, he'll be like, hey, you did really well today. You did better here, and I caught you here because I'm good, right? But, there's something there. But he's also like, he won't ever be the guy that lets you get out on him just so you feel good about yourself. He'll give you the tools, like leave his elbow out a little bit or his wrist out so you can catch it. But if you don't, then he's going to punish you, And I think I've surrounded myself with people that will do exactly that, will give me an honest perspective and bust my ass when I need it. And after they bust my ass, if they feel like I need it, they'll call them like, hey, you did well today. Or like, hey, dude, you had a day today. Get your mind right, go on a date or something, and then come home and figure your ass out tomorrow.